Welcome back to the main stage of Austria Comic Con 2024, and behind the curtains is a wonderful actress which you know from Supernatural and from a ton of other interesting things. So let's give her a warm round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, RUTH CONNELL! Hello, please have a seat. Yes, please. This is yours.
Is this what James Marsters just breathed all over?
Probably.
Okay.
So, yesterday you said something very interesting when we talked about Supernatural and Amanda Tapping as a director, because there are two different things that I would like to ask you, because when you started doing Supernatural, the show was in its 10th season. It was a team, a group, a family that has already been formed when you came on the show, but then when you did Dead Boy Detectives later, you started with the start of the show. How different is that for you as an actress to come to an already established show and cast, or to be able to build it from the ground up?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Is there anybody out there? Are you alive? Hello? Yeah, when you turn up on set, season 10, Supernatural, it was a very well-oiled machine. And if you're smart, you just kind of try and get in the slipstream of everything that's going and go with it and be a good functioning cog in the wheel. In Dead Boy Detectives, it was interesting with the two lead boys, because they were on set before me and filmed quite a lot before I got there. But they were very keen to talk to me about Supernatural and about the longevity of Supernatural and how things were done on Supernatural. And, you know, from Jensen and Jared down, I feel like I learned sometimes what not to do, sometimes what to do. And it was nice in Dead Boy Detectives that I felt that the two leads, you know, maybe took on board a couple of the things that I've learned from my experience, and hopefully, you know, if we get a season 2, we're waiting to find out. Hands up, who's seen Dead Boy Detectives? Okay. This is what you did yesterday. Hands up if you've not seen Dead Boy Detectives. Okay, now slap yourself in the face. That was not my idea. That was his idea yesterday. No,
I'm sorry.
If you haven't seen it, put your right hand up and say, "I solemnly swear to go home and press play on Netflix so that Ruth can have a job in 2024. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay. When you talked about Amanda Tapping as a director, what formed in my head, but sadly we didn't have the time for the question, is have you experienced a difference in directing styles between a normal director and a director who is also an actor?
Yeah, every director is different, and different directors have their strengths. I find that directors who've been editors before shoot very specifically because they know how they're going to cut it together. Richard Spate, who directed episode 7 of Dead Boy Detectives and also Supernatural, you know who he is. The Joker, right? Is that right? You tell me. He would be very much on set beside you, quite close by where the acting is, and he almost has to stop himself showing you, like he's very involved. Amanda, what I liked about Amanda was we had conversations before we shot, and she would talk about the emotional content of the scene, just because it was especially that episode with Jared, with Sam and Rowena in the car after post Lucifer trauma, PLT. So yeah, every director has a strength and weakness, but I do, as an actor, it is nice to feel understood by your director because they've done it themselves before. It definitely, it brings something. Yeah, I think so. And just honestly, I hope I've gotten on well with most directors. Cruise sets still tend to be a male-heavy environment, so it is also nice often that it's a female director. Some of my best experiences have been with female directors. I've had great experiences with male directors, but it is nice to have some women in charge. Isn't that right?
You told us yesterday that you were inspired by films, that you like to watch movies, and now you're part of movies, of TV shows. Did your acting change your view on films, on other TV shows, and the way you watch them, the way you experience them?
Yeah, everyone's a critic, right? We watch, and if I can watch someone and forget that I'm watching an actor and just see the story and forget to be critical, I really admire the actor, the director, the writer that has done that, because it's actually a lot more difficult than it looks. So I have more respect for really seamless performances and performances you don't even realize that they're acting. So I hope I'm a less harsh judge now than I was, because it's not as easy as I thought it was.
Have you ever read a script and thought like, I'm not going to do that?
Yes, Supernatural season 11. Somebody's dressed up as it today. I don't know if she's here in the audience. She's got the sigils on her. Hi. So I've learned now. I mean, generally it's bad to open emails late at night. But I got an email late at night with my Supernatural script for the next episode, and I couldn't help it. I had to open the email, and what I do is I turn to the back page. Like, you're not supposed to do it with books or scripts, but I turn to the back page, see what's happening. I'm working my way through the script, seeing where Rowena is in the script. And I'm like, I see this stage direction. Rowena's naked in front of a mirror, having painted sigils all over herself, and I thought, I agreed to be in Supernatural, not Game of Thrones. And immediately panic slept the whole night, thinking, how on earth am I going to do this in front of the Canadian crew? So yes, I have had some terrifying moments.
And speaking of non-terrifying moments, there is a microphone in the middle of the audience waiting for some very non-terrifying things to happen to it.
I mean, I can terrify you if you want.
Challenge accepted.
I always really appreciate people who ask questions, because your heart's thumping, isn't it? Your heart's thumping doing it, so thank you for doing it.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
Sabrina, I'm from Austria, from Graz, and I always enjoyed Rowena most when she showed cracks in her armor, like when she showed real vulnerability. And in addition to the car scene you already mentioned, I really loved the episode Funeralia. You know, the one where
Say it again.
Funeralia.
Oh, yes, I love that episode, yeah.
And I always wondered, she never pointed the knife at Sam, even though she kept saying she's gonna kill him. Was that your doing, or was that stage direction, or could you bring any details?
I don't know, because having just read this stage direction about being naked, I very much, it's probably a bad habit as an actor, I'm reading the words that people are saying. I notice usually last, it's nighttime in a dark alley. Like, I'm not, and I kind of think that most of those kind of directions are subject to change, and when I come across a director who's like, it says in the stage directions, I'm like, oh Christ, like, I don't know. Like, I'm from a theatre background. You turn up on the stage and you stand in front of each other and you speak, and then you see where it moves you and where it takes you. So it could be in the script, or I don't know. My instinct is that my instinct would have been not to point it at him. You know that. Yeah. You know, so I I'll take the credit. I'll say it was me. But I don't know.
To me, it always looked like instinct because she was positioning herself between Death and Sam and said, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, and especially working with Lisa Berry as well. We're very close friends, Lisa and I. She hosted my online baby shower. And so we would be very much working in that way because she's very giving like that and very open to just being spontaneous. And
it was awesome. The scene was great.
I really enjoyed that one, thank you. With a female director, Nina Corrado, I'm pretty sure directed that episode.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Hello. Hi. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
I'm Patricia. I'm from Austria, from this here. And
you look fantastic.
Thank you. And I wanted to know, since the boys are known for their shenanigans on set, did they ever play a prank on you?
Okay, so there's a jar. If you ask about a prank, you've got to put 100 euros in the in the joke jar. Yes, they did, and no, I'm not telling you because it's too rude. And I did try and prank them, and it's hard to prank them because all they're doing, honestly, the boys, I swear, the amount of times they're watching the gag reels on set, and I feel like all they're doing all the time is thinking about the gag reel. Like, not the script and not the serious drama, but they're thinking, how can they be funny for the gag reel? So there was lots of shenanigans.
I remember the trailer of Mark was plastered full of pictures.
Do you? Maybe you might want to know the story. I'll try and make it quick. So there was a box. Can you believe a box of unsold Misha Collins calendars? They didn't sell out, and it was halfway through the year. So nobody wants a calendar in July, and so Michelle, who runs Stands, the merchandise website, she posts this box, very heavy box full of Misha Collins calendars to Vancouver. I get a phone call from Customs and Excise. Is this Ruth Connell? We've got a package here for you. It was because they added up the value of how much people would have paid for the calendars, which were unsold. So it was like thousands of dollars worth. And they said, yeah, the VAT will be however many $100 VAT. And I was like, I'm not spending that on Mark Shepherd. I'm not going to spend that. So I said, look, do you know Mark Shepherd? And the girl was like, from Supernatural. And I said, yes. I said, I'm on Supernatural with Mark and we're trying to play a prank on him. And they waived the customs. True story. The calendars arrived in Vancouver. I couldn't physically pick them up. We had to get the guys who worked on set to pick them up. And myself and Elena and Misha Collins spent hours and hours cutting out pictures of Misha and sticking them everywhere inside Mark Shepherd's trailer. Even when he lifted the toilet seat, there was a picture of Misha. And inside the microwave, inside the bed, everywhere. So, anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me of that story.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm Lola. I'm from Vienna. You already brought up Rich, and I was wondering if working with him on Dead Boy Detectives was any different than working on Supernatural with him?
Yeah, because in Dead Boy Detectives, he got to tell me what to do. Kind of. Yeah, I was there Rich's first day. Actually, he just texted me a picture recently of us on our first day with our fingers crossed in the first shot of Dead Boy Detectives, and he was nervous. You know, it was a big step for him to do a big show like Dead Boy Detectives on the for in the circumstances, and he was very well prepared. I think all of his experience on Supernatural and on Walker and on the Winchesters helped him. I feel like I'm doing the Richard Spate panel now. Like I'm talking like I'd forgotten your question anyway. I don't even remember what it was you asked me. Anyway, he was great. It was great fun. He's a great director, and I hope he gets to direct me in more TV because that means we're both working.
How's Margaret doing?
She's fabulous. She's a wee scone. Does that translate into German? Do you know scone in Scotland? You know, like a little cake, she's a wee scone.
Thank you.
Hi, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
Wow.
If you could choose from any existing movie, series, franchise, whatever, where would you have liked to be a part of?
I would have loved to have been in Succession. I could have been Brian Cox's long-lost niece, right? Or something like that. But that's gone now. I want to be in Dead Boy Detectives Season 2. That would be really good. And then maybe if there is a supernatural spin-off, I don't know. I love The Handmaid's Tale. See, I like really serious drama as well as comedy. So yeah, I'm gonna say very serious Handmaid's Tale and Succession and Dead Boy Detectives.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. What I wanted to ask you is, what is your favorite memory on a set of Supernatural with Jensen and Chad Padalecki? Sorry.
Johnson and Jared, I call them. I remember, so I said this yesterday, when people ask me that question, I don't have one favorite moment. I have a Rolodex of lucky, lovely moments. So the one that popped into my mind when you said it was we were shooting late at night. It was getting to the end of the day. Things get tense, trying to meet the deadline, get the shots in. And there's always, when you shoot late, there's a late night snack, which is one of my favorite things. But I was on set, but the late night snack was pizza, and it arrived, and I was like, clearly my attention was towards the pizza, and the first AD's like, come on, we need to hurry up. And Jared was like, whoa, 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 and he stopped the whole production, and he was like, Ruth, and walked me over to the pizza stand and got me a slice of pepperami. And he did that he did that because he's clever, because when things get tense on set, it's actually good to break the tension, rest for a minute and regroup and start again. That was actually more productive. Do you know what I mean? So he was being sweet and funny and cute, but also kind of like a really good producer that he obviously is because of all his success with the Walker franchise. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. Thanks. My name is Becky. I'm from Germany, and I love the Dead Boy Detectives.
Thank you for watching. Tell these other people who've not seen it to watch.
You really should. It's a fantastic show. Anyways, I am manifesting only good things, so hopefully in season 2.
Was it your lips to God's ears? Is that right?
What's a thing that you would really like for your character to experience, or a development that
Steve Yockey, who wrote on Supernatural, who wrote Dead Boy Detectives, already talked to me about what would happen in season 2, so now it's kind of hard for me not to reference that, so I'm too scared to say anything. Again, this is not because of anything he said, but I do think that she's very different to Rowena, but I think one of the interesting similarities to uncover is the underneath, like the why. Yeah. And I would that would be fun if there's enough time over 2 or 3 seasons to, it took 3 or 4 seasons before we understood that Rowena was the tanner's daughter, and it was. I felt like I knew it all the time, but it was understood. So I would love more of the underneath.
Yeah, I feel like that was really interesting to see when she made that little switch after she came out of the fish, and you saw a little bit of her softer side, and I thought it would be fun to explore that. And
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. I'm Florentina. I'm a bookseller from Austria. And I would like to ask you if you've read the Dead Boy Detectives comic.
Yeah, I would have been very remiss of me not to have at least read one or two stories. So I got a thick book with a few of the stories, and then I found online before it was announced, I found some first edition copies, which I've kept, and I might get the cast to sign, maybe for charity or something at some point. So yeah, and I think, like most comic books, and you know this much more than the general public, or than I even knew, that so many comic book stories, they're so ahead of their time in terms of inclusivity and diversity and big thinking. So the books are no disappointment, and some of my favorite characters in the books are the sarcastic, philosophical cats. There's two cats who are they say contradicting philosophical things, which is true. If you're on Instagram at all, you see one quote and it says, "Seize the day," and then the next quote says, "Just chill out," and you're like, well, which one is it? And the cats, these philosophical cats in Dead Boy Detectives, I really loved. Have you read them?
Yeah, I'm currently reading one, so I'm really hyped to see the next.
Yeah. And do you like what we've done with the adaptation?
Yes, really. It's so good, obviously.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman likes it, so if he says it's good, then it must be all right. Thank you for your question.
Can I just say I love your accent? It's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. I can't help it. It's just the way it comes out. Hello.
Hi. So I'm the wrong Crowley, sadly, but that's fine, I guess. I was wondering, you worked with so many different actors on Supernatural as well. Who was your favorite to work with and why?
I feel like if I say one person, I'm like not being fair to so many other people who were so good to work with. But it's interesting. It's not always the person you think. Sometimes you just somehow are in a scene and it kind of is easy, and you forget that you're acting, and it can be somebody who's a day performer who comes in as a guest star for one day. I had lots of fun with so many people. So my Rolodex just ding. And so Terrell, I'm going to say her surname incorrectly, Rothery, she was in, you know who I mean. She's been in tons of stuff. She was Olivette before she got turned into a hamster, and I got to slap her, and that was really fun because she was very open to just kind of, and she was a very experienced actress who just was doing this special episode of the show. So that's always exciting, I think, when you've got somebody new. I loved, Misha was the first person who asked to rehearse with me. It's like, would you mind running the lines? And I was like, are you kidding? You never ask people higher on the call sheet to work. You offer to lower people, but so when somebody higher up says, would you like to rehearse? You're like, oh, thank you, because I love to rehearse. Jensen was my first director, and he was wonderful. He's got a special place in my heart for making me feel so comfortable on my first day on set ever. And Jared, I had some of the most emotional scenes with. You notice the one person I didn't mention was Mark Sheppard. Because it was, the dynamic is so, he is so perfectly cast as Crowley. It was like falling, do you know the saying, falling off a dike? Falling off just falling over. It was so easy with Mark. He's naturally, I can't believe I'm going to give him this compliment. I can't believe I'm going to say it. He's naturally one of the most talented people. But don't tell him I said that.
I won't, I promise.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, when she asked the question, in my head, it automatically paraphrased in, who was your favorite person to work with, and why is it not Mark Sheppard?
I'm glad you think this badly of Mark Sheppard, but I think he deserves better. At least for being funny as hell on the panel last year.
Please.
It's almost like Mark enjoys talking. It's weird, isn't it?
No, the funniest tidbit I can tell you is, you know how Mark does the panels, and so he did it, and we record the panels to put it on YouTube. And
can't see him.
And my director, he added me into the panels sometimes with a gray filter and with rain and like chirping sounds, because I was sitting here like waiting for the bus that doesn't drive anymore.
Mark's just talking non-stop in the audience. Yeah, I know. We love him dearly, but...
Please.
Hi. The question of truth. Team Sam or Team Dean?
Oh, say it again. Sorry.
Team Sam or Team Dean?
Oh, I've got to choose a team?
Your favorite character?
Rowena.
Sam or Dean?
I don't understand your question. They're both cute, but Rowena. They're both tall, but Rowena. Team Roro.
Okay. And your favorite character, Sam or Dean?
Rowena. Thank you for your question.
Okay.
Next.
That's how Rowena would answer. Okay.
Hello, I wanted to ask you, what was your favorite scene to shoot in Dead Boy Detectives?
Oh, see, I can actually remember some of that. It was more recently. I really was looking forward to the day inside the fish. If you haven't seen the show, well mind you. I spent a day of my life inside a fish, and I really was looking forward to it. Cheech is one of the writers in the show. He's also the actor in the scene with me, who does a great job. And we rehearsed a lot on our own. So I was really looking forward to that day. And sometimes you're really looking forward to something and it's disappointing, but it wasn't. It was really fun to just be so... And I've seen the episode once. You don't always get to choose the takes, but I did so many different versions of every piece of that scene. I did some really extreme versions, and they choose the edit they choose. But I really got to, as an actor that day, try everything I wanted to try with Glenn Winter directing me. He really let me try everything. So I really had a ball. I almost lost my voice. I was screaming and shouting and crying and everything. And that's what actors love to do. And so I really enjoyed that particular day. I got to the whole day was just devoted to that scene, and it was really enjoyable. And I hope, I don't know, do you like the story inside the fish?
Yeah, I loved the scene. So I watched it with my sister and my mother, and they also loved it. So yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the stunt. And to be fair to the stunt people, they must hate it when actors say I did my own stunt. It was hardly a stunt, and they did all of the prep. They did all of the hard work. I just got strapped in at the last minute and thrown 60 feet high in the air, which they flip it around, and then it's like you're falling. So you get sucked up in the air, but it looks like you're falling for the camera. And that was really fun. And I put it on my Instagram stories recently because I screamed as I was doing it, and I did 3 takes. And the third one, the director, you can see she's because it's so fun. Pretending to fall into a gigantic fish. I mean, that's my job. That was really fun.
Ruth, I really hate to be a party pooper, but I see we have one more question.
One more quick, and
I do not want to leave it unanswered. Yeah. But we have 23 seconds.
23 seconds. Okay, I can do it in 23 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
19 seconds.
19 seconds.
I had a very long discussion in an Irish pub at 4 o'clock in the morning with 3 other friends. What is fifth base?
You'll have to wait and find out.
Thank you.
On that note, Rowena definitely knows what fifth base is. Ruth doesn't, and I don't want to know.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And there's one last thing I want to say. This year we partnered up with the wonderful Star Charity Austria for kids cancer research. And if you want to buy tickets to win portraits of all our guest stars, including a wonderful signed portrait of RUTH, then you can go to this nice man here and get the tickets. Thank you.
He's done such a beautiful job taking the photographs, and they're printed on such good quality. They're really fantastic. You've done a great job, so I hope everyone gives a lot to the charity. It's a very worthwhile cause.
So thank you all so much for coming, and thank you so much, RUTH, CONNELL!